New bits are always fun.
Spiky bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Rob Barrett from SpikyBits.com, and in this video, we're gonna take a look at a bunch of different conversion bits that Libra has sent over to us, and we kit bashed with a bunch of different plastic kits from Games Workshop, and I really like the look of these. Hopefully, you do as well. So here's their website. It's just LibraDemonica.com. They have all sorts of conversion bits over here. You do have to click into the shop from the front page, or you can, hit it from the nav bar right here. But once you get into here, you can see all the different bits. And if you're on mobile, this is listed out a little bit different. And from the main shop too, I believe they might be across the top here. So don't be surprised if it looks maybe just a little bit different when you see it here. So I kind of had to zoom in a bit to show the whole nav bar here on the left and everything like that. It resizes great for browsers and everybody's phones and everything, so don't worry about any of that. But just to give you an idea, you can kind of click on anything in here. I just clicked on Dread Armor because that was what I wanted to take a look at, because that's one of the things we're going to see today. But pretty much any types of bits they're going to have in here, and I think this might be one of the things we're looking at right here. And we showed you a bunch of melee weapons. We're going to show you some ranged weapons today, but basically they're all in here. And just to give you an idea of some of the costs, like on some of the stuff we're going to show you, like this Invictus type armor plate set here for the Invictor Warsuit, you're talking $17 euros right here. So that, it equates out to a euro and dollars about par right now. So about 17 bucks. It takes about 2 weeks to get it in. I found generally, maybe 3, depending on which way the wind's blowing and customs and all that thing making its way across Europe. But obviously here in the States, you don't have to pay any customs or anything like that. It's all going to come bubble wrapped and really well packaged and things, so don't worry about any of that. I haven't got any damage or anything ever from any of their stuff, and they sent me painted minis too. Now I've damaged a few of them on my own, but that isn't on them, of course. So lots of stuff in here to see, and it's all very reasonable. The shipping's, I forget what it is, but it isn't that bad. Anything like that I was like, oh, that's out of control. So just add stuff to a cart and kind of there isn't any deals on anything shipping like that, but that's the way it is right now with shipping and everything. And they are shipping out of Estonia, I believe. So it is coming out of Western Europe, but it isn't, associated with Russia or any of the Eastern stuff going on over there. So just kind of keep that in mind. You should get everything in a pretty timely fashion. My package came, like I said, in about 2 weeks, so no worries there. So let's take a look at some of these bits actually on the tabletop and what you get in some of these kits and how you can use them with your minis or just kind of standalone-ish with some of their other bits that they have too. So first up, I wanted to talk about some of the banner, well, they call them tabards, and leg sets they have on here. So these are, I forget exactly what the name was called because I had to look all this stuff up. They didn't come labeled, but of course when you order, you're already going to know what you ordered. But I believe these are some sort of sanguinary kind of chest here, and you will have to trim off a little bit of flash. But you know where to trim that off. That's not even a big deal. And then these are so fresh, like very, very crisp detail, a lot going on there. And they come with a set of legs and a little tabard, so they are really cool because they kind of slot together, if I found the right ones. Yeah, so I like the little tab system right here, so you don't have to worry about nothing. I really hate kits like Eldar and stuff where you have to glue all the legs and things on. So this is really neat, and it's super fresh. You could use it as Death Company, it looks like, almost. I think that's what that is. Very ornate or baroque, I suppose, as the relics of Baal tend to be, and a little bit of stuff needs to get trimmed off there, but that's definitely screaming Death Company to me. So then you can glue these together and put your little tabard on there to cover things up, and even that's got a design on it, which is really cool. And these aren't that bad. I want to say they were like $8 each for each of the set, and I think the legs were 12. So you're looking at 20 bucks for these conversion bits. Now, I know what you're thinking, well, if I want a whole army of that, yeah, it's going to run you more than the plastics, but the cool thing is that you're probably going to have some leftover plastic bits that you're like, man, if I just had an extra set of legs or an extra set of torsos, I could make a whole nother squad of you know, Marines, and that's generally what it always came down to for me. So you throw another $20 at it, you get a more ornate, you know, kind of looking squad of dudes, which is really cool. Or you just do your whole army like that, and you have those leftover bits, and maybe you can sell them on a secondary market. I don't know, you know, something like that. And then they've let's see. So I'm gonna put some of those together here in a second, but I want to show you all the different bits. They have a bunch of gun like weapon bits for Primaire scale, and the cool thing about these is, yeah, you gotta pop off the you're gonna have to shave off the hands on your Primaris Marines right here to use these. But the cool thing is that they give you the other hand too, because if you look at a bolter for Marines, here's a bolter for Marines that I may or may not have already put these together. Spoiler alert, I'm breaking the fourth wall here. So here's a bolter for Marines, and you can see the hand is attached from both sides there. So you're gonna have to snip those off. But with these, you can either use it as a single hand, you know, get DACA, true grit, or you have your little hand right here to glue on. So what I would recommend is gluing these on first and then snipping them off, or using a knife to slice them off, as you can see I've already done, to get those off, and then you can customize your stuff. So that way you're not trying to glue instead of two different pieces together and then line it up with the resin bits. You already know that they're going to be lined up because they're all flush. But I'll show you in here in a second that actually works. Now these are they call these banners, and they have a whole bunch of these. I didn't even get all of them. And these are my favorite. I love the look of these. Like I said, there's a whole bunch of them. We only put, well, I got one more on a guy here, and I'll show you in a second. And at first I was kind of worried because I was like, oh dang, you know, what if you don't want to use the right hand? What if you want to use the left hand? Like you already have a design or whatever, or you already have a pose put together, and you're like, man, if I just had to do a banner, I could put it on my guy. But the cool thing is that for all of these, like this one here, I guess would be fists of any flavor. Very fresh, very crisp. There's so much going on with this. And you can even do a little design on the back if you want, or just hit it with some black and be done with it. But see this fist right here, these two bits, or it's gonna come with two bits, and each has the different hand right there, which is pretty smart if you ask me. So you just figure out which hand you want it on, no worries. You know, if you don't use this bit right here, well, maybe you got an extra blade or something you can attach to the end and use it for some other conversion bits. And then they've got like a ruler / emperor kind of look here. So if you really want to make that sweet Vexella, or just put it on any chapter of Marines, I suppose you could, and it wouldn't even be an issue. But this would look dope with some OSL painting and stuff up there. And this Templars one, holy cow, check this out. If that isn't the freshest thing, I could only imagine what the Dark Angels one looks like. I haven't gone and looked them up. I do know that they're about €7, so about $7-ish right now, which I don't think is bad at all. That seems like a win, man. I'd get one of these different looking ones for each one of your squads, or at least one for your army. I mean, they are just very, very cool looking. And then the last kits we're going to show you today, they sent us over a bunch of different stuff, but you know, we only had time to convert up and show you so many different things. And I got to be honest with you, I messed this one up, so many apologies. Sometimes the wheels come off, folks. Sometimes I think I nailed it, and sometimes I'm just like, man, I really messed that one up. And let me tell you what, I really messed this one up because I have different kits to try all this stuff out on. And I was like, oh, cool, you know, Redemptor Dreadnought armor. Hey, I got a Redemptor Dreadnought, no big deal. And then I go to record this about, 10 minutes or whatever ago, and I'm like, oh, whoops, this is for an Invictor Warsuit, which I don't have an Invictor Warsuit. Well, I do have an Invictor Warsuit. I have a 13-inch tall Joy Toy one behind me, which I love, by the way. But I don't have the proper one to put these bits on. But some of these do fit on the Redemptor, so I'll show you that here in a second. So here you can see this is obviously with the shape. I don't know what I was thinking. Somebody be like, Rob, I don't know what you're thinking either. Yep, I know. I messed this one up. The wheels came right off. So it's got all that. It looks like it's for the Templars, perhaps. I believe is that one. But you could use this for the Unforgiven, I suppose, with the wing motif and things on there. So these are going to be the side. And I'll show you a painted one of these. So it gave me a great reason to segue to a painted model to show you exactly what these are going to look like. Because remember, Liber Demonica not only makes these, well, they did painting commissions first, and now they make bits and produce bits. So that's really cool to see them kind of going vertical in their space over there. So let's take a look at that. So there is, well, one of the finished products. I'm going to show you the one I assembled is very similar to this. So you can see all the extra bits. You've got the, what is it? The stuff there on the, let me grab my mouse icon here. Oop, I don't know where it is. Oh, no. Let's move around. There we go. We got a mouse icon. So you've got all these different armor plates. There's one on the top. There's one on the fronts, shoulders. You've got the one on the side here. And then you've got this extra bit here that goes over the hand. And then you've got the sarcophagus as well. It basically contains all. This is actually not part of it. I think they converted that up or something. I don't think that's resin. I think they just kind of put it on there. And then we can see the side view. You get a little bit better of an idea of all the detail work on the side there and how the bits go together right here on the top. Those two frames those two bits I just showed you there a second ago towards the end, and then over here you can get a better idea of how it looks in the side hand. We'll just call it the handy armor over here as well. So just kind of see where all that kind of goes. And then I do have a Redemptor Dreadnought here we can take a look at with some of the armor on it, because believe it or not, it sizes up for the most part, but it's not an exact fit. So here is the Redemptor Dreadnought. Like I said, yeah, I know I'm dumb. It doesn't even, the hand armor doesn't even quite work the same, but this little thing, you get the idea. On the Invictor, we go about right here. And then these bits are very similar, but there's actually an extra shoulder bit that normally it's kind of bigger and chunkier on the Redemptor for the kits they have. And then the armor plates here don't quite line up, but on the Invictor, that will be a little bit higher and flush right across there. So that's on me for not getting that right, unfortunately. Little embarrassed by that. Well, we're never going to talk about that again. But if I had an Invictor Warsuit, I know this would be very fresh looking. And for $17 for that armor, like I said, I feel like it's a really good value. And then last but not least is my favorite right here. Well, actually, I haven't showed you the other two kits, so let's do that too. But this was my favorite kit by far. These banners are very fresh, and you can see how it's going to look on a Primaris Marine. And like I said, never mind that a piece of shoulder pad just came off there. But like I said, it doesn't matter what hand you have, you can just slice it off and boom, you've got whatever pose you're looking for. As long as the guy's kind of looking up and has his arms stretched out, I think you'll be fine. And there you can see the Ultramarine or Omega chapter right there, and on the back, it's got a little bit more detail than the other ones, which I kind of like. So you can hit that with like a rich red or a blue or something. And then here's some of those bolters like I was showing you earlier. On our little build a Marine here. So he's basically put together with blue tack, and you can see that we already sliced off the hand, and in this pose all we did was just slice it off, and it pretty much fits. You might have to use a little bit of plastic putty right there, but with the glue I don't think that's going to be an issue when he gets primed up. And in boom, he has a really cool looking bolter, and there's a whole bunch of different options of those. And then this is the Blood Angels upgrade bits for the legs, and there's a bunch of different ones. They're not all, Death Company and stuff like that. And the chest right there. Now obviously if you're going to use bolters across the chest, well, you might not see all the detail all the time, but if you're doing something like Assault Marines or special characters or something like that, you're probably going to see a lot more of the chest. I tried to snazz them up a bit using the bolter with the auxiliary grenade launcher here, but you kind of get the idea. It looks fresh. And then you can have the extra bits that we all seem to have a million of to make more Marines right there and make it way more economical. So overall, I think Liber Demonica always has some really great offerings and a plethora of amazing looking bits over there that you can choose from. Whether it's, they even have Imperial Knight stuff on there. I haven't got my hands on any of that quite yet, but they do have that on there as well, so be aware of that. So they pretty much have everything you might need to kind of snazz up your army. And like I said, all conversion bits, if you start kind of mixing and mashing them to create whole miniatures, you're going to start eclipsing the price of the plastics. But that's usually how it goes with these Baroque resin miniatures. If you want a certain look, that's great, but it might cost you a little bit more than just the plastics alone. So kind of mix and match and, give it your feel, but also keep in mind, hey, there's a cost to all this stuff too. But I don't feel like for these kits that are 70, 80 bucks, spending another $17 to upgrade them with some dope armor or something like that, or $8 for a banner, or $8 for a set of bolters is very much of an ask at all. And I love seeing this stuff on here, and they're one of the companies I always love really talking about on here. So check them out. It's Liber Demonica, and of course they have they do commissions if you need your stuff painted. They've done some work for me. Been pretty happy with it as well. So I need to actually send them some more models to paint. So hopefully we'll get to that at some point. Anyways, thanks for watching, y'all. Don't forget, always remember you can go to Liber Demonica to get your conversion bits all over the place. There's so much stuff over there to definitely check out. It's LiberDemonica.com. If you liked that video feature, consider supporting us over at Patron.com and get back in the mail each month a miniature crate full of some of the stuff we review here, as well as some of the top 3D artist designs out there too, to help support what they're doing. Plus, discount coupon codes from some of those same manufacturers. They're yours to keep, whether you cancel or stay on. It's totally up to you. Obviously, we want to keep you as happy as possible. So check it out over at patreon.com/SpikeyBits.